I'd like to welcome you to the Village of Rockland meeting on October 14th. Roll call, please.
Schmeckel. Here. Robbie. Here. Bagel.
Here.
Coke. Here. Molina.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Eagle.
Next, we'll do the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the Lord.
Well, we are thankful being here tonight to conduct the business of the village of Ross Common. And we give thanks for the safety that has been going on in our village this year, especially the Oktoberfest. And we ask that you guide us in conducting this business tonight. Amen.
Thank you, man. Next item will be 3.25 approval of absence. We're approving the absence of Kurt Coney. He went to New York on family. So can I get a motion to excuse him?
And motion excuse.
Got it first?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Miller.
Yes.
Fischel.
Yes.
Molina.
Yeah.
Robbie. Yes. Coke. Yes. Schmeckel. Yes.
Okay. On approval of consent agenda, we have one correction. The master plan is not for approval tonight, it's just for our meeting. It's only for you guys to know. May I get a motion on the consent agenda, please?
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with stated changes with the bills to be paid in the sum of $51,765.21.
Okay, I have the first, I guess second, please.
I'll second that.
First, second, any discussion? Come.
And the planning commission minutes talked about the gentleman that had the variance request to the Alden reported the variance process, and that was in the previous minutes of last month. Alden reported the variance process was not properly applied, as stated in the village zoning ordinance. The zoning ordinance appeal should have been involved in the process, along with the notices to the public and other readers. Owners say they are planning to comply and move the ownership is legal and it has not been done at the time of the meeting. In last month's minutes, the family, the resident, home presented a variance request to leave the ground structure within the people setback of the home. Member for the need more information. Special meeting was planned for August 26th. And all the requested members to review the zoning ordinance and be prepared to make recommendations for changes in a future meeting. All of them will go over the ordinance and Jim West, as well as present their findings at the meeting. In the special meeting, Tim Riley, the chairman of the planning commission, was one of the neighbors of the residents, and Jim West, the zoning administrator, was supportive of the request for that variance. The motion was made by Riley to approve the variance. Dixon seconded, all members presenting, approving the variance. So the guy approved it. Now you're saying no, we have to move it. And everybody's supposed to review the ordinance. Then the building inspector guy, again, we call my weekly complaint about the building inspector. I run into people, they have, it's all the general same complaint, lack of communication. He changes his mind on things like this. Either way you need to do is you keep adding stuff to get it finalized. And then another thing he brings up is people bring up is he works for Higgins Township too. So he works for the village. Sometimes he presents himself as the Higgins Township building inspector. When he works for the Higgins Township, he presents himself as the village building inspector. And he's charging Higgins Township mileage to come here from my branch. He's charging us mileage to come here from my branch. We're 2 hours to 2 places in the same town. So the taxpayers and the village are paying for him to come here twice. And I'd like to read it. You guys might remember when Mr. Chapman come in here. back in February, and about 60 pages of documents. Unanswered email, telephone call, all this stuff that was holding up the process. Mr. Schmecker wasn't at that meeting, but he responded with an email to everybody in council, for the meeting February 25th. It talked about the lack of communication and all that, with Mr. Shepke and Mr. Leff. He goes on and says, this seems to be a recurring theme from what I hear when working with Mr. Leff for a required permit. And she says, I would ask that his boss, whoever that may be, review his job performance. And then we had to do that when we reconsidered it, we were going to get this 90-day extension on the violation that he received. And she said, I hope underlying that you understand the reason for all that, and she said, like, underlying issues of the job performance of our building inspector also on that. Our constituents would pay for his service by a state certified inspector. They should not have to jump through hoops or stall the project due to unanswered phone call and email. So, enough of that subject, but another issue in the planning commission minutes from this month is the new business section 2, two-family duplexes. All the reported that he and the zoning administrator discovered an error of omission in the R1 section of the ordinance. The intent of the document was to allow duplexes in all 3 R zones by right, rather by special permit. More discussion regarding this will be forthcoming. In the email I sent September 9th, that was the evening of our last meeting we had here. This was sent to Mr. Alden, Mr. Miller, and the building inspector. That during Monday's meeting, the construction of new duplex style homes on South Main Street was mentioned. I noticed in the August zoning administrator report that a building and zoning permit was issued for a new home on Main Street, parcel A. While the zoning report does not specify the exact address or indicate whether it is north or south Main Street, the only new construction I have observed in any portion of Main Street appears to be a duplex style home on South Main Street. According to the zoning ordinance, the duplex requires a special use permit. However, I do not recall any information being shared about a special hearing during the construction of the duplex. So I don't think the zoning administrator and manager discovered that. I discovered it, and I don't know if they're trying to change the rules or cover up a mistake, or I'm not against the duplex, but I know you guys are all about rules and regulations and all that. At least I have idea. So, I call MDOT and the state police and everybody else. Then his email I go on says, given the number of issues and concerns raised this year regarding the zoning administrator, it appears there is a lack of familiarity with the enforcement and application of the zoning ordinance, inadequate communication, and overall insufficient job. And I'd like to call for a review of the job performance as well. And then to finish off, go back to about the zoning request variance. It says that we initially made the request because the garage structure was in the 10-foot setback of that roof. I don't know where the 10-foot setback is coming from. The rear and side setback for accessory structures in the residential neighborhood 5 feet to 6 feet from the house. So I don't even think you need the variance. So there's a lot of mistakes going on with the building inspector, a lot of complaints, and I just think something needs to be done. I don't just want a new one, really, but that's all I have.
Any more discussion on the place of the building inspector and zoning administrator? Truthfully, I emailed you back about the duplexes. I told you I'd check into it, and did. I went to that planning commission meeting. The whole board was said it was a mistake on their part because they didn't proofread the thing before it went to print. So that's the answer on that duplex thing.
So, that should be the zoning administrator. He's the one, you know.
I'm also checking in things that you asked me to check into. So
And then the
So
last thing he had, from my former complaint about the issue about the other place, is 6 days left. Deadline's October 20th. So
yes, sir.
60 days for your zoning ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Any complaint,
Yes,
this is a valid complaint or not, any complaint. So I, formal complaint, 60 days, I even gave him till he had to come to work, so.
that's, I know what your email said. Okay.
So. Leave me open Wednesday, better tell them to get to work.
Well, I work Monday, so I won't be able to tell them. When they take that. So, it'll be passed out to Liz by email.
All right, good luck getting the spots.
Any other complaints about anything in the agenda, consent agenda? If not, can I get a roll?
Cook,
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Buddy. Yes. Official.
Yes.
Schmeckel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, next item is meeting report, Mr. Rowland.
Thank you.
welcome everyone here tonight.
Oh, wait, sorry, approve the regular agenda. My bad, thank you, Dan. Approval regular agenda. May I get a motion on that one?
I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting agenda as written.
Hoping I can.
First a second, any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Buddy, yes. Medina,
Yes.
Official.
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Schmeckel.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll go on to the building.
Thanks, Mike. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. I'm gonna just mention a little bit and then one of our DPW directors, talk a little more, but we had a young man that has, stepped up and is now working with us full time and, as scary as it may seem, but he went on to get some advanced training and, I'm gonna let Mr. Schnell talk about that. I think the congratulations to him. There's a business called the Circle Power Renewables, and basically it's they're working with consumer energy in regards to solar farm. There was a meeting last Thursday with some of the people in the village, sitting down with them and try to find out a little bit more about this. They're looking at, they'd like to do like a 500-acre solar farm. It's in Higgins Township. It's not in the village at all. They do have a few locations where they're trying to look at some DNR property for the most part. So they're working at that to give them a question, see if they can find a good location for it where it's not gonna impede upon some of the trails we have or maybe some of the better hunting areas and stuff like that. So there's more information comes out, I'll keep it posted on the Saddle River Center Pavilion. Things just started happening this week. The excavator went in there the day after the Public Fest, and we a little bit more fill than what he had thought, and started to get that taken care of. And a little bit of rain we have had has helped settle that. But now what you'll see is holes will be drilled for the poles, a little cement work, and then we're gonna start throwing this up here. And I don't think this week, but probably next week, start on involved. So that project is scheduled to be done by the end of the fall. We're hoping that we can get everything done except for maybe a little landscaping here in the spring. So again, it's a 44 by 80 pavilion. We have not heard any more on our EDA grant that we applied for. The deadline ways off yet. Keep hearing more encouragement that our athletes are looking good at scoring, the preliminary scoring is looking good. We have secured letters from potential people that would like to build or move their business to our industrial park. This is a $3.5 million grant. It's a 60-40 grant, and it's something that's water and sewer throughout our entire industrial park. So we're waiting to hear a little bit more on that, but
we should be hearing something by the first year. I had a lady from Caledonia call me last week. And she said, we're in the process of planning and putting in village flowers. We need to know your secret. She said, somebody stopped by and told me that the best flowers that you want to see is in the village or out of town. So she says, so I made a long drive up here and she was right. It's the best flowers I've ever seen, and she couldn't believe the size of the baskets and want to know all of our secrets. So, so we compared notes a bit, and she found a few things that we were doing that she wasn't, and so she's all set to get her watering team and her system going. But I told her there's not someone with us have to exchange pictures. We're curious to see how it's. Caledonia. Yeah. So, so she said, yeah, a friend of mine called me and I couldn't. You know, I thought, all right, she was sent on a trip, but I drove out there and shot. No, and so the Christmas in the village staff, North Central Area Credit Union staff joined today to decorate the village. If you haven't seen that, putting out some of the fall and Halloween arrangements. I want to thank all of them for their hard work. Christmas in the village committee is also the one that decorated for our Oktoberfest and planned for that. And I don't know where we would be without that committee. They sure do a lot of work for us, and I appreciate all the time that they donate to the village. We have a 5 families meeting, and again, for those that may not be aware of our 5 families meeting, it's a representative from the village council, the DDA, the planning commission, the economic developer department, and myself. And on Thursday of this week at 6 o'clock, it will be held right here. And what we do is give a little synopsis of what 2024 has been like, and we'll go through as far as telling everyone about where we're at with some of the projects and take suggestions or ideas for the 2025. So at 6 o'clock right here, and there maybe even a couple refreshments left. We'll get that taken care of. I want to remind the council, make a special note of this, that the second Monday next month is Veterans Day. And you voted on December, maybe the January, to move the November council meeting up a week, so it's gonna be November 4th at 7 o'clock per year. So the next council meeting will be in 3 weeks. It's be the day before the election, and it'll be right here at 7 o'clock. This is so. Other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for thank you. So,
We have a couple concerns about the paving project will take place on road commission. Like tore up the end of Pinecrest in like mid-August. They put the new sidewalk in. When your sidewalk is smooth as and put some brush back and the sidewalk there from brick. So my concern is it's been about 2 months now. It's been 4 months. That's in the lady in one of the power wheelchairs coming from the library. They come crashing down on the one sidewalk. And the power wheelchair couldn't make it up over the hump of the next sidewalk. So they had to go around, get on M18 and get on the sideway, the exit sidewalk. And then they tore up my end of my street. And Mr. Miller says the road commission denied doing it. So the manager said that he was supposed to be doing the bench work. And Dave, the foreman guy from the road commission, he had no clue what they were doing on both sides. And that was the end of the conversation between everybody on that. So they didn't really still tore up. So I don't know if it was a mistake. It was a mistake. They just say it was a mistake. And break the dirt back and work on. But, and
is okay after that anymore? I can answer on Sherwood. They did Sherwood edging all the way to Fran's house. They did not go around the Oak from the gentleman I thought we did edging. of the work and the country curb. They did not touch anything at all.
Wait, why?
Well,
Wait, there's somebody else, then we can find out who did it.
so I don't know for sure who did it, but. Look, Mr. Boyle.
I'm with the DPW, I'm sure you guys know that, so we're supposed to be paved on Saturday. And, unbeknownst to Dave, our contact in Crawford County, they changed it. So either Wednesday or Thursday of this week, they decided to pave Artesia Beach Road. So it is on the agenda and it should be done yet this week.
Yes, on that one, go through like we go. The machine broke down on Artesia Beach Road on Thursday, so they moved everything back one day. And truthfully, asphalt, we don't have no control of that, because it's hired out by Reef Round. The road commission is not doing it, it's a project, it's been contracted out, so when Reef Round gets there, they will get there. We have no control of their schedule. They can say, hey, it's to be a general date of, hey, we're gonna try and do it the 17th of October. Schedule don't return, and then they move it next week. I'm sorry to say it's been this long, but I can't argue with what they do, it's their job.
I think it's just something to consider in the future when we, and then I got to thinking. I had to go get bid for $100 consultation for the down system, but I don't think we got any bids for that paving project, we're gonna have to run.
We contract the road commission to do it for us.
But it should be put out to bid, shouldn't it?
Not, it's through the road commission to bid it, not us. It's not one of our projects, one of their projects.
One of the village street.
It is a village street, but we mandate when we sign a contract with them, with our streets. To maintain the streets, we're doing paving, they do all the work on it.
Well, when that contract expires.
Well, we rerun one every year, so I guess in December you can sign it or not, or. That's up to the council submit.
I think it's just something to consider. There's some design a contract over my house, and they started like doing the roof down, and took my shingles off, and then disappeared for 2 months. I say, you know what, I found somebody else. But. it's just, what are we gonna do with, like, I'm just saying they should have put the sidewalk in and then paved it the next day. Not put the new sidewalk in, that was a big bump there. And like I said, it's smooth as silk, and it should be roughed up, because it's gonna be, somebody's gonna flip.
I guess we'll pass it out to the road commission, and if you want to talk to engineer, I'll have him talk to you. Go ahead.
It should be a rule of thumb that they did blacktop every person.
They won't be doing, they actually, Rick Riley will be shutting down here this week. Cause they have some repairs to do to their machinery.
They did some, oh, I remember when they did the alley up there. Ten fish, they did that. No,
Usually it's usually the week before deer season when they shut down, when all asphalt went through that. But I will let Mr. Bellinger know that you are not happy with the engineering area of it.
Tell Dave,
No, I know.
back too.
I told Dave that I called you and he said he did, so I don't know. So I'm here to part of the story. So any more questions from Mr. Yeah,
I
here.
just wanted to let you know that Dave was under the full impression that it was getting done last week. He was not included in the email. And he called me on Friday, apologized for it had been moved. He had no knowledge of that, but didn't pay, no worries there.
Then he got an email at 5:30 that night saying you're going to change it. So any more questions on the management report? If not, I'll be forward. Okay. We'll be moving on to the public acknowledgement, agenda item 2 minutes per speaker. Okay. Next item, the unfinished business, number 6, DPW report.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet all of you except for official and I apologize.
So let's try.
Yeah.
I don't.
How about?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Doug Schnell.
My name's Doug Schnell.
Glad to meet you. I hadn't seen you.
Yes. Give you a quick report, what's been happening down in Hill. We'll begin curbside leaf pickup at the beginning of this month around town. We'll continue that at meeting. What's done in the snow flight and comes everything up. All the village parks have been winterized. all the fire hydrants have been winterized, and an email went out to the area fire departments around us, asking them to notify me if they open them up, so that we don't have a refreeze. Starting the week of October 14th, started this morning, we began the final inspections of the DWAM material inventory project. And so we have roughly a little under 50 to go. We'll be getting those now over the next couple weeks. Replace the tires on the loader. The snow removal equipment is getting ready for our upcoming season. Both Gary and Andrew have completed the required courses and have successfully renewed their L1 and L2 certification, so I'd like to congratulate them on that. And then also, as Ron talked a little bit about, Andre, and took a 2-week course and it's good CDL, so now we have another CDL driver that can help with the snow plowing. Wrapping it up, we feel really confident that we're right now in the village and like the status that we're at.
Okay, any questions for?
Any specific day for the week pickup, or is it kind of, would it be a time when we can really
Well, the weather is right and they were just out getting ready. Like I had a gentleman that when I was doing the DWAM inspections today, he said we do a fantastic job doing the leaves, so I passed that along.
I don't let me down yet.
Good.
It just occurred to me, you have a machine tuned up for the snow removal on the sidewalk.
Yes, there's probably a few couple things that we've got to work on it yet, but it's everything's just about there.
Any more questions for Doug? If not, thank you, Doug, and welcome aboard.
Thank you. Look forward to working with everybody.
The next item will be Economic Director Report, Mr. Jim Perry.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Start off with the Oktoberfest wrap up that many of you were there. We appreciate the attendance, and Mr. Danskow put a lot of work and effort, mostly volunteer time, to put that together, and I think he did a great job this year. We had more sponsors than we did last year by about 20%. And we also are already planning next year's event. One of the things that we butted heads, Mr. Alden and I, with Mr. Scow was whether a country band is allowed at Rocktober. And so he's pushing hard for a very popular country band out of Taylor, Traverse City, that's actually interested in playing our Oktoberfest next year. So we'll see how that debate plays itself out for next year. But all the bands were local, or at least partially local, and the turnout was great. So really happy with that. As Ron mentioned, Christmas in the Village Committee is, you know, they do much more than just Christmas in the village, and they're around decorating today, but they are promising a bigger and better Christmas in the village this year. So look out, and we're excited to see what they have for us. Shamrock Drop plans are already in motion as well. So second annual Shamrock Drop on New Year's Eve. There's word on the street that just like this year, we had a Kidtoberfest to go with the Rocktoberfest, and there may be a Kid Shamrock Drop in the works for Irish midnight, which is 7 p.m. For an early Shamrock Drop, but we'll see. Traditional Shamrock Drop is still planned for midnight Eastern time. As mentioned in my last report, the Rite Aid building was empty by Rite Aid Corporation, and so it is officially for sale. There was talk at the post office and so forth, being interested, possibly interested. I'm not sure if those discussions are fruitful or not, but I guess we can see. mentioned last week, the CEDOM Community Economic Development Association Fellowship, and thank you for making a quick move. The DDA also approved $5,000 in support of your decision to support this fellowship. So the 10 grand fee for this fellowship is being shared with the village by the DDA as well. Farmers market, winter markets, if you're interested, write this down. November 9th, December 14th, February 8th, and March 8th will be the winter market dates. And if you remember from last year, those are held indoors at the Riverside. We have one housing grant that is in the works. We're hoping to receive the Michigan State Housing Authority, which is rolling out millions of dollars every 6 months to the different regions of the state. Continues to do that, and we just found out that the region that we are in, Region E, that its allotment upped from 1.1 million, Mr. Alden, to 4 million. So we're getting places that represents 40 or so units in our region, and Rosstown is hoping to at least get a couple of those. Girls' Night Out, the big event here in Rosstown is next Tuesday, October 22nd, a week from tomorrow, 4 to 8 p.m. Really big event here in the village with the Chamber of Commerce, and very well supported by the business owners, and most all of them do participate. So if that's something that you're interested in, I think we're going to post something on our village Facebook, but if not, the Chamber of Commerce page has all the details on that. And then, of course, a growing activity or growing event over the last several years has been trick-or-treating in the village. I know that there are a lot of trunk or treat options out there, and the state parks run events for children and so forth, but our businesses, a good many of our businesses are going to stay open an extra hour or so to pass out candy. So bring the kid on down. That's all I have.
Any question for Mr. Perry?
It's the fellowship, buses coming, but
Just got an email today. I received the posting that we're supposed to post in the newspaper and on our social media. It has the job description, compensation, the projects that we're going to be working on, in addition to the 12 other cities that were also granted this fellowship, what projects they're going to work on. There are no official job requirements behind that position as far as like having a college degree or certain experience in economic development. So anybody that you think, that would be excited about doing some of those sorts of things or applying for that, I would encourage to apply. You'll see that in our social media within a day or two, and in the Hope Lake Resort as well. So not sure that Tuesday's the deadline tomorrow. So, good question.
That was my question.
My question is something, job posting, you ever consider posting like maybe the Fairfield City Record Eagle, like a city time?
I didn't consider that. I mean, I suppose we could. I don't know what the cost of that is. We know that the CEDOM, Community Economic Development Association of Michigan, they're going to publish it statewide and send it out to the colleges and universities looking for maybe a younger applicant, but you don't have to be a college graduate or a younger applicant. It's open to anybody. Ultimately, the decision to hire will be it will be a co-decision between this organization and us. Once we get down to the final five or whatever. But
Yeah, how long is the application period?
well, it'll open tomorrow, and I think they said the deadline, and I just read it today, so I think the deadline for first week of December. Don't quote me on
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And we want to have the team ready and all on the first day.
in January. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
See you in one more agenda.
Okay. This is Hiawatha Park project update, Mr. Hawk.
It's fine. The project's coming along, they've had a couple hiccups down there, things that you really can't plan ahead a lot for when you start, digging up, the park lot and there's 3 foot of silt or muck there and they have to remove that and backfill it and stuff like this. And so, the crew's been working hard. I tell you, the method that they use to correct that, issue as far as how much muck they started back at the garage when I went for them. So whatever they did, and how they did it, they went beyond what was expected of them, and it's gonna turn out really nice. They are now trying to get that smooth off a bit. Payment will come shortly. Then they're working also on trying to fit in the bathroom itself. So they'll end up pouring a bit of a foundation there, but they're gonna backfill it with sand and have 4 walls. I think it's 4 feet. Might be a little higher than that. We call it blueprints off the top of my head, and then construct that. So they're hoping by the time weather turns that they can have the park lot and the bathroom up in the plumbing to the bathroom completed and some of the electrical taken care of. So so if that's the case, then in the spring we'll have more of the cosmetic different things, pavilion going in, the canoe launch and some of the benches and tables and stuff like that. Those will be assembled by our own DPW. So hopefully we can get most of the other things work done this fall.
Okay, any questions on the Hiawatha Park project? If not, we'll move on to Village of Roscommon Social District. Mr. Perry, every now.
Council members, I didn't get the information to Mr. Alvin in time to include in your packet, but I did throw those handouts out on to your desk for the meeting started. Members of the public, I have a few, so please share. So what you're looking at, if you remember, a little under a year ago, I came to the council with the idea of a social district. On the heels of COVID, the social district, not just in Michigan, but across the nation, was a way to allow for businesses that serve alcohol to continue to have a way to protect citizens in a way that they could social distance and be outdoors and so forth. Became so popular even as the decline of COVID made things much safer. The popularity of the social district increased, and due to a lot of pressure by business owners and different municipalities, this remained an option for communities to look at. If there's any members of the public that don't remember, the social district is the idea that participating bars that can sell an alcoholic beverage in a plastic designated, specifically designated cup, and walk about the public streets in designated areas and sit on picnic tables and so on and so forth. So we had convened a social district committee. A couple of you served on that committee, and we, for the most part, we're looking at language, because there are 3 requirements to have a social district when you submit an application. One is simply a resolution of support from the village council. I'm not asking for that today, but our goal was to ask the council for that at the November meeting. And so you're getting some sample language that was looked at, pieced together by our committee, and we feel we fit what we need here last time. Item number 2 that they require is a management plan, a maintenance and management plan. And so our committee drew one up and then we drew it up and drew up another one. Drew that one out and then tweaked another one. And then finally, the last set of tweaks, which are very minor tweaks, and you see those in red. Most of those are just wording changes here and there, clarification and so forth. And the hours of operation, that was actually quite contentious. Where we would settle with the hours, but we did throw, there was a line in there that basically said that these hours can change depending on the festivals that might be going on at that time. For example, Shamrock Drop, we get over till midnight. But we treat the hours of operation for those touch and don'ts that are held after hours or possibly even before hours, but there's an issue with that. And lastly, there has to be a map of the social district. Now I want to clarify, you see a green strip of highlight in that, that's actually the public areas where people would be allowed to have a social district drink. The dotted red border is the contiguous area of the social district that bars, participating bars have to be within that. And so, for example, if we didn't include Fred's of Ross Common, then the social district would have no need really to go past maybe the Bird and the Bear as you're heading out of town toward the Nestor's car dealership. Green's Tavern might be the limit of the social district if we didn't have Fred's. We need Fred's because in order to do an application for a social district, you have to have 2 participating establishments. And currently we only have 2 participating establishments, Fred's and Green's Tavern. And so there is a brewery in the making. I happen to know that guy. He's trying to get that open pretty fast. But as of right now, the Old Tin Fish is on hold. Project's on hold. I'm not saying the project's dead, but as I understand it, the Tin Fish project is lower priority for the investors. This year was trying to get this Coney Island and DC Pizza up and running, so that those business owners are not losing revenue. So this is just informative. What you're looking at is what I would like the council to consider. And absolutely take feedback. We have had debates within the social district committee with regards to this word or that word. So we'll start getting to where we are, but we're not closed yet until we vote. And the idea is to send that application off with 3 parts: village council resolution, the management and maintenance plan, and the map. The map could change. The wording of the maintenance plan could change, and the resolution is open to whatever this board decides on that resolution. But we do have sample language there that we looked at, we tweaked a little bit and made it from what we thought was the best language for the emerging document. There's our update. Now, what kind of questions do you have?
I have a question, just because I recently saw a post of a business up in Grayling that is within the social district. They were having an event. And they said BYOB because they were in the social district, but that is not this.
Okay, this is a frustration I have with Michigan liquor control. I feel like that's that ordinance, state statute is so young, only a few years old, that it's still wide open for interpretation. I asked a very similar question. For example, can let's say that a business, maybe right here on the end next door, has some property or a yard or whatever, and decides to put a picnic table there. It's private property. It's at the edge of the public sidewalk. If that business owner said, yes, come have a beer on our picnic table, 1% of Michigan Liquor Control said, yes, that's totally fine as long as the business owner agrees. Likewise, if you're in a social district and you have a beer and you walk into a gift shop, not a food producing business, but a gift shop, let's say. If that business has the ability to say yes or no to alcohol walking into their business. So then I asked another person at Michigan Liquor Control to clarify, and they said, well, no alcohol on public premises at all. Or excuse me, private premises at all. It has to all be public sidewalks and so on and so forth. And so what I saw was the city of Grayling, the city of downstate, like Saugatuck, I think, where people are just walking into businesses, and sometimes they're even walking into places that they're not allowed to, like another food business. So that's strictly prohibited. There was no communication issue on that. But when you start talking about a business that has nothing to do with food or alcohol, it's our interpretation, and we heard it at least once from one person at Liquor Control, and we know that other cities are doing it, where if a private business owner allows, then alcohol can come on the hotel. Until Liquor Control tells us we can't.
Even like buying like a 6-pack of white, because that's what I kind of took it as, like bring your own one,
No,
buy
that
the white claw, come on.
aspect of it would be illegal, because social district alcoholic beverages have to be in the plastic cup, and they have to be from a licensed social district bar.
That's okay, that's what I took that as too, but that almost made it seem like you could just bring your beer in and.
And from what I hear, what I heard downstate is, I don't want to say this over, enforcement is not as strict as they can put in their management. How about I leave it at that?
Can you have questions for Mr. Ferriero?
No, about the cost. Who provides the cost?
Good question.
Provide the company.
Yeah, for uniformity, I have written in the maintenance plan that the village would purchase those cups, have them printed out, and then the businesses, the bars that participate would buy them at cost. So there will be no profit to the village, no loss to the village, but the cups would be uniformly made at one vendor. And they would say the village columns on it, that's our working time.
You know what I'm saying? Like you walk into Greens and you got to specify you want a local district cup or a regular cup.
Yeah, you have to specify, if you'd like a to-go cup or a social district cup, put it in the plastic. And then at your Greens Tavern, for example, it would say the village commons on it, but then Greens would have to put a sticker that says Greens Tavern. And that way, if there is an issue out on the street, they know where that is. And that beer would not be allowed into any other bar.
Well, that would have. I take you probably talk to some of the businesses in town.
Yes.
What's their, they get along with what's doing?
Yeah, matter of fact, almost universally ordered of the both of the consulate. My aunt next door, as a matter of fact, there was a question whether a social district beer could come out of the brewery and across the street for her outdoor tables that sit on the public sidewalk. And she serves food. So the beers cannot go into her business, but they could go out on her tables out on the public side. But yeah, pretty supportive. I haven't heard a negative from any business.
Any more questions?
Right? We'll see.
If no more, thank you, Mr. Ferriero.
Okay.
The next item was master plan, Mr. Al.
Yeah, thank you. Master plan, we sent you the current copy of that last Thursday. It's 115, 119 pages long, something like that. At next week's planning commission, I'm gonna ask the planning commission, to, make a recommendation to the village council to, approve this master plan. It will then go, they'll do that in October, and you'll see it again in November to approve it as in they're approving the premises. Once you approve it, then it's on a 63-day period that we can get more public input and make any changes or correction. We will have to have a public hearing. And once that 63 days has expired, then it will request a final approval from the board. It goes on the book. So so it's moving right along, but it'll probably be, I'm thinking January by the time you guys see it again. The way the 63 days comes out, and kind of maybe you're mid of month, and so you guys will see it the following month. So it's coming. So enjoy reading.
Any questions for Mr. Holden on the master plan? If not, we'll move on to new business. Roscommon County Literacy Program, Mr. Ewald, and it's space.
Sounds official.
Yes. You.
She is. I'm Michelle Ewald. I'm the current president of the Roscommon County Literacy Council. Mrs. Lindsay Smoots. She's one of our members. So she has a handout. Last fall, we came and did a presentation about all of what our Literacy Council did. This year, we're going to do a little shorter presentation, some updates of what we've been up to since last year. And of course, when we're done, we'll take any questions. Nancy said she wants me to take the lead and she'll just chime in when she hears something. If I make a mistake or something needs to be added, yeah, no pressure though. So I'll wait till everyone gets a handout there. Okay, so we'll just start up at the top, visibility, and I won't read everything on here. I'll highlight some things. So since Ron approached us last year about coming to present here, Nancy and I have been making the rounds of the different township meetings and associations. And we started with the townships that have larger populations, just as a starting point. And we've been trying to work our way through. So far, we've been to the Supervisors Association and then 4 of the townships. And then we have plans to get to Denton and Roscommon soon. We've been to Richfield, Markey, Garish, and Hayden. Yeah, I'm going to stand up here with me. I'm just going to sit and comment over this. So when we've had really great reception at those township meetings. People have been really interested in what we've been doing. We discovered we're kind of a quiet organization. Not a lot of people know what we go about doing. So we haven't had any of the townships make a financial commitment to us, but each time we go, either individuals make commitments or various organizations. An example of that is last week at the Garish Township meeting, the chief of police happened to be there, and he said that he believes the Act Now organization, they're going to have us come in and do a presentation. He believes they're going to want to make a contribution. So it's been really great getting the word out, and then people have been interested in supporting us financially. For those of you who weren't here last year, the Imagination Library is our main mission, and it costs us about $14,000 a year to run that Imagination Library. So that's what we do most of our fundraising for. We have a really visible event in the summer, our youth book sale. This year, the donations were amazing. We had so many books, there's no way we could actually sell all the books in a one-day sale. And we have so many quality books left that we've made a concerted effort to stock all of the rural free libraries around the county. So we know of 16 of them. That's another interesting thing at all the townships. They say, oh, we have more than the ones you're telling us. So apparently we have more than 16 in the county. People are rounding up those. And so our members take boxes of quality fiction and nonfiction adult titles plus children's books and go around the county and stock those. So that's been really great. We know of 2 of them in the village, And if you know of any more, please let us know because we'll stop those as well. We're very close to a Facebook page launch. It's been a little bit of a slow process. There's an old Literacy Council Facebook page, but the new one has that logo that's at the top of your handout. So you'll see that in a little circle. So once we get it launched, we'll be sure to, we'll put all of our names on it and you'll be able to, follow us and get information there. And then, one of our goals for next year, once we heard about Kidtoberfest, is we'd like to contribute something to that next year. I don't know what that something will look like, but it seems like a good, like a natural thing for the Literacy Council to do something at Kidtoberfest. So I'll get with you as that event gets closer next year. And then recently we've had 2 brand new Literacy Council members, which is great. And another one that looks like interested. So we might be a double-digit members soon. So that'll be excellent. So Nancy, anything under visibility that you wanted to add in?
No, you did a good job.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the only other thing I wanted to share was a little more information about the Imagination Library. So I did an analysis of our database and I just took the August numbers. And so we had 543 children from across the county registered. Of those 543, 23 of them, or 4%, actually reside in the village. And then I was interested when I looked at all the numbers, the village has at least as many or more than 7 of the townships. And when you look at the area of the village compared to the square mileage of the townships, that's pretty amazing that you're kind of in the middle. The village is in the middle of the number there. And then the only other thing I have is we did launch an Imagination Library sponsorship program. It's been really popular. It costs about $25 a year to have a child in the Imagination Library. They get 1 book mailed to their home per month, a quality children's title. And so people are pretty amazed when they find out that it only costs $25 to sponsor a child for a year. So that's been really a popular initiative as well. And a lot of people have stepped up to support it. So that's what I have for you tonight. I don't know if any of you have any questions or anyone would like any clarification on any of the things I talked about.
Anybody have questions about Mrs. Smith on the vision program?
Well, thanks for having us in tonight to give an update.
Thank you for the work.
Well, thank you for your financial support. Yes, thank you. It's helped.
So I believe last year we gave a donation $2,000. Is that something the council still be interested in doing this year? Okay, okay. Want to make sure, do we make an addition to it? Do we want more? That's a question.
Not on the
Now we can leave it $2,000 line item. Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you, lady.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item is water sewer connection rates, Mr. Alden.
Thank you. The good news is we do have some holiday projects going on in town here. There's been a little activity, and one thing that both projects have created is maybe some of our policies need to be updated a bit. In 1997, our policy was adopted that said that you need to look into our water system. It's a $1,000 hookup fee to have city water, and $1,000 hookup fee to have village sewer. So what we have looked at, and we've been dealing with some of these new water lines that we drill, new connections, new complexes as well, that the village is losing money at our current rates. I guess go back and think about 1997. If anything was worth $1,000 back then, What good we work today. If you wanna put in a new well. The moment you put in a new well. That's gonna cost you, depending on the depth, probably around $9,000. If you wanna put in a subject field. Again, depending on how many bedrooms you have and things like that, we're probably looking at least $8,000. So, the sit down and talk to the DPW crew, Gary and I, even met with some of our neighbors and to look at some of the comparison rates and stuff like that. And we thought, well, what we have into these projects, if we move that from a $1,000 booker fee to $5,000 booker fee, it will get us closer. There might be, depending on, every connection is a little different, you're not sure what you're gonna run into and such, but as of as Gary and I had discussed that, we thought that would be more of a fair price for us to offer versus losing a great deal by keeping it at $1,000 a piece. So I showed you a couple recent invoices. Those invoices from the two companies, I know they give us a break. They like those Ross Common, they enjoy working here, they give us a break. That some of the invoices do not include our own energy and effort we have to put in there, whether it's some of our equipment needs to be used for pre or close accommodation. It's just something we're looking at that I want to let the council consider changing our hookup fees, so we're not losing so much for every time we have to run a new line. On our current the land grant, when we are replacing water lines, that has been at no cost to the property owner. We have covered that. So this is for basically new construction going on, and we have more construction coming up. So I guess I'll entertain any discussion or any questions.
Do we got questions for Ron on the water capture point?
So $5,000, does that, pipe from the water main to the house, or just to the property line, the curb stop?
Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be from the curb stop to the house. We would still have to cover the cost from our main line to the curb stop.
Yes.
Is that correct?
The main building, curb stop, property line, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ron or Gary or Ed or Mr. Duff? Okay, if no more, I'd obtain a motion for a water connection rate of $5,000 increase from $1,000. Can I get a motion on that, please, for water connection from the village to the main water system?
I'll make the motion. Water from 1,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, first, can I get a second, please?
A second.
Got a first and a second, any discussion? Daniel?
Yes, if someone has their water disconnected, like the meter, they don't wish to serve or pay that running surcharge any longer. I understand that there was $1,000 reconnect charge, was that go up to 5,000? Even though the water is there, you just stop paying it.
No, I mean, this is for when you're actually got a put connection for the first time.
You only include how.
Or to say, roots or whatever, there's some issue and they have to reboard or something like that,
I just wondered. All right, thank you. Any more discussion on the water connection rate increase? If not, roll call please.
Medina,
Yeah.
Cook,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Ready,
Yes.
Moore.
Okay, the next item will be sewer connection rate. To do an increase from $1,000 to $5,000 for your sewer connection. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I'll make that motion.
First, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
First, second, any discussion? If not, we'll call.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Ready,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Cook,
Yes.
Medina,
Yeah.
Miller.
Yes. Okay, next item is. Next item is 2025 village budget work session. Mr. Alden.
Yeah, I'd like to schedule a work session, for, budget review and input. So to look at October 28th. On that Monday night, if, we could do that. We could have it at 5 or 6 o'clock, whatever time works best for you. Work on that budget, and then, they'll give you a week to, finalize it. And, run any changes with our, company and, the day first, November 4th. Village council meeting.
October 28th, work for everybody?
6 o'clock.
Is 6 P.M. okay for everybody? Okay. And the work session is set for. Mrs. Reddy will not be here for that, to be at a conference.
So when you be around, like, if I can. Make a new like the next day or from the time in that for show your council and stuff. Okay, so. Right, with, this,
Okay, then October 28th. At 6 P.M. here at Village Hall for. Village budget work session. Okay, next item will be village sound system, Mr. Medina.
Right, last meeting, we talked about getting the sound system with us. And I guess the some confusion, I don't know, I'm confused maybe, but I went and got the quotes and then looked like the village manager had it sent by his technician that we have a contract with. I didn't know anything about this contract, and why I wasn't brought up when we initially discussed this, we were contacting this guy. I just want to know, I asked for a copy of the contract and a minute showing where the council approved it, and I haven't got that yet. I was kind of wondering why we don't have a contract with a local guy, Classic Computer Repair. Well, I do appreciate that they look like they're considering getting newer microphones and include the DVA. That would be nice to have. Get a DVA that's on YouTube. So I don't know what you guys want to do with these. I know you guys aren't too fond of the YouTube meeting and all that, so. No matter what I make a motion for, it's gonna be resisted and legality and all that stuff, so. I mean, I guess I'll make a motion to hire Classic Computer Repair and accept their sound system.
Can I have a first? Can I get a second on that? Okay. Yes, good, thank you. Got a first and second, any discussion?
Yeah, Tony, just for clarification, Chris Fisher reached out to me. In regards to, he received an email from you. And he wanted to check if that was already, if he responded to it, because he was normally not approached by council members on, from someone else, and we explained to him what you've done to. He said that you sent him a link to a video of one of our council meetings and stuff like that. And when Chris said, he said, these mics here are, a directional mic. And he said, you know, I noticed in the video that you could hear everyone, but some of the clarity wasn't clear, and he says they have to swallow the mic when they talk. They have to have it close. And so he says, before you invest any money, I think if you would try to program yourself to do that, and then we can see what the sound like, whether we need to, take more of a analysis on the whole system, you know, looking at that. I did tell him that with our DDA having 13 members, some of these mics are no longer working, that if we were to replace our system, I would want it to have 12 or more mics, I think, so the capability of doing that. And so that's why he set me goals to just for our own knowledge.
Well, I think we should look into get different microphones too. You know, when you start, you don't want to be focused on that. You're not a karaoke night. You really count for me.
Yeah,
I have to be able to focus on the subject and not have to talk to Mike.
I asked him the reason why this microphone might be better than something else to sit on the table or so. He said the mics that you put on the table pick up all surface noises. Where if I wanted to lean away and say something to Jennifer, this mic's not gonna pick it out. It's not gonna dub in the recording, so that could affect clarity of the discussion going on. So he just said, you know, I guess it's let you know what you know.
I know about this thing, Anthony mentioned, maybe a ceiling mount one. That way, then you won't have to have a microphone there anymore.
Yeah, he and I had that conversation a couple years ago. Actually, you're right. Just, dropped a few ceiling mics.
Did these come from Anthony?
Yes, it did.
So we have been in contact with Anthony about this system already, so we've had two people talk about our system now. Chris Fisher is our system that was set up with Mr. Rodzik, I believe, he set the contract up with that, so it never came along this board at all.
It's more of an agreement.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that in right.
So that was just something with Mr. Rodzik.
And one of the things is the field, first, he got IT guy. That's not Anthony's stuff. Anthony's on IT guy and he's a computer guy. But our system and everything, that's what. First thing. So no, what Anthony's basic. And we only said, that's not me.
They're the service and repair guy. Service repair part.
So here I'm seeing various slides. Every time we're talking about this sound system since January, February, why are we now just finding out that we have this guy that has these options? I guess I'm just curious as to why this wasn't addressed with Mr. Fisher when we first started seeing that there were issues with the sound system.
Well, I'll be honest with you, this office has not received one phone call, one email, one text message, one complaint off the street that anyone's having difficulty hearing us when they check it. So it had just been brought up, and there's some of the videos that Mr. Perion and I reviewed, that there's parts of it that's choppy. It might hear you really clear and might not hear me at all. And so once we looked at that, for the most part, the meetings are coming out pretty good, but I think it's more of on us as far as, having better mic control versus the system. So the system may need to be upgraded to so we all have our own mic, so we're not sharing and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if I answered your question now.
I just want to point out that it did in the one that Tony read earlier from February 25th. And I watched that video that I missed, that was in Florida, and I did mention how terrible the sound was in that one, so you already said that complaint.
All right,
And you can't comment that you can't hear when you're watching it from shore.
in February 25th. That was before we had, Russ come in for the summer. Russ and Jim Trail spent a great deal of time fine tuning these things, they're working on this, so I think there's some improvement there. Now I think it's on more on us, whether we use these mics or whatever mic I have to use, learn how to use that tool.
What are the analytics on the YouTube views, et cetera, since we've been posting them?
I can answer that. Generally, and it depends on the meeting, you know, when we first started, there was, I don't remember what the issue was, but there was a good number of viewers, and since then, it looks like, and I'm doing this from memory, you know, we'll get anywhere from 8 views on the low side to 25 on the high side, kind of average. But with the one outlier that was up in the 70s and 80s views, and again, I don't know the specific council meeting was, but we're talking about 8 to 20 views per month.
And are they watching the entire meeting, or is it like coming in for 40 seconds or 3 minutes and clicking back out?
We can analyze that, and I have not gone so far as to look at all of the, you know, 10, 12 views of if they're watching the entire meeting. I would assume that, for example, with no offense to Tony, but you know, as he's been the most vocal, I'm sure 4 or 5 of the views may have just gone him or you, Jennifer, looking, you know, let me find where these deficits are in the sound system. And even Ron and I, you know, you would view the video 3 or 4 times to try and find these deficits. So if I say 8 to 20 views, a good handful of those are probably us trying to analyze the issue. So how many from the public, I don't know.
There's a lot of advertise better. Yeah, I've given up on you guys on the Facebook and all that. You got them for damn not dropping on 2%. But they'll probably 70, 80 views. There's a couple I posted on my Facebook page. This was an experiment for that, just to see how many more we're getting from the last one that was on my social media page. Then we'll get significantly more views like posted on Facebook, but nobody knows about it.
Well, the clarity is to me that we now have people showing up at our meetings, and I don't, is anybody even on right now?
I don't think so.
So I don't know why there's so much focus on, like, we gotta get these meetings recorded, done, and so much time is spent on fine tuning it, and then when it isn't right, it's like, it's the projects that aren't maybe the priority projects, is what I think of, so.
Yeah.
I do have to say, when trying to watch the recorded videos, they are very hard to hear, even at max volume when I am trying to listen and be engaged in the village. When I can't make it to meetings, when I miss a meeting, trying to rewatch them later is so hard because you guys don't use the mics, because you aren't engaged with the microphone, so it's so hard to be able to hear you guys. And it is important for me that if I do miss a meeting, I do try to catch up within that next week so that I can come here semi-informed of what's going on by the time I do make it to my next meeting.
That's his job.
So I'm with the DDA undersecretary, and for over 2 years, I have voiced difficulty watching, and this started before even recording of meetings with these microphones. They're unidirectional microphones. You have to speak directly into them, like they said, and that is a learning curve for the people that use them. So we're always having to say, speak into the microphone, and as the meeting takes on,
then that's lost. And I can tell you out of all of the meetings I attend to, a large majority of them, I have worked midway to 3/4 of the way through because I cannot hear it. It's extremely frustrating. So there either has to be a system that is functional and usable all the way through that you can hear and understand, or I think just getting rid of the system, one or the other, but it's embarrassing to attempt to broadcast something that isn't, that's not functional.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion on the table. And we're coming,
I want to add too, when I was talking to Anthony about the microphone, he did mention that these are on the cheaper side, so this one microphone. The quality isn't the greatest.
Where the microphone that you're talking about that, I can't remember what it's called, but
It was,
would that also pick up, the audience speaking, those, that, there was multiple goals. That would be helpful as well.
we have a motion on the table. Any more discussion? If not, do I get?
Who would we then motion? Yes.
Go ahead, Fred.
Higher classic computer repairs and substitute.
We're still discussing.
And you mentioned that Tony himself says this is not his area of expertise.
No, I.
And
What happened?
And when Tony was talking about, he's a contracting Bishop, that's not, and he said it's not a contracting Clinton. On TDOT, with our system, our whole computers, everything, and it's for it. And, but that's not Anthony, there's no special contract, and Anthony now on TDOT, he fixes computers, but he's not. What do you call our system? Back there, or networking.
Network.
I mean, call that something, that's Courtsy's company, but that's not. And not mentioning Anthony could do something with it, I don't know. But there is no control. There. That's all.
Okay. So we're still on discussion. Any more discussion on this item? Maureen, you're thinking.
I'm thinking.
well, yeah, because it doesn't, because the motion is. Do you want working microphones or do you want plastic computer repair to do the microphones?
Well, the motion last month was to get quotes for, and I wanted to hire a fast computer repair. I don't remember how it played out, but the motion last month was to get quotes for an assessment. And I got quotes for an assessment, so now we're getting the assessment. And I got the assessment's gonna say if we need a microphone, or Anthony in the assessment, he even mentioned it might just be the way we're uploading to YouTube. I'm not sure, that's not my department, but so JPEG, MPEG and all that.
Was there, in that motion, was there like a time frame that say within 30 days?
No, but
So why the rush? Like.
why not?
Because there's other things.
Drag it.
Because there are other things that they work. So I just feel
I
like.
got everything right here. Yeah.
Okay, that's closed. I have a motion on the table. Any more discussion? If not. Roll call, please.
Miller,
No.
Fischel,
Yeah.
Medina,
Yeah.
Luddy,
No.
Book,
No,
Michael.
yes.
You
Yeah.
One at a time. Okay. So is there any more motions on the village itself that anybody wants to make? If not, we'll table it till the next one, or
No, the motion failed.
the motion.
I have to fail, you know. I make a motion to eliminate sound placement. YouTube and everything. Do away with it. If that not proceeding well, do away with it.
I have a new motion on the table to eliminate village sound system.
That,
I have a-
what's that, FaceTime or whatever too, all of it. Pay for that. Do away with it.
So
Go back to the 70s.
okay, I have a motion to eliminate the whole sound system, FaceTime, everything. Facebook, everything, you want to eliminate everything, or what do you want to do?
Anything,
So
things to
technically,
do with digital.
okay, I got first, do I have a second?
No, I'm just, this is Jack, this is either fix it or do away with it. Well, I'm saying do away with it now.
I think it be on your schedule. Why does it have to be on your schedule?
I have a first, and I get a second to continue discussion, please.
I'm still stuck with Chris, okay, so are we gonna have Chris Fisher?
Well, no, now it's a motion been to get rid of everything.
Let me know, but it's.
No. Do away with the sound, the microphone.
So we have a motion to get rid of the sound, the video and all the sound. And you know,
My question comes from the last, okay, that motion
fail.
failed, okay. Because of that. Would we go back to Chris if this fails? I mean,
Well, we can discuss it after this motion fails too. There's discussion. So I need a second to continue in discussion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a first and a second. Any more discussion?
Well, I think that this is a temper tantrum. I think that it is ridiculous. I think that, maybe when you make motions in the future, you should put a timestamp on it if you want it done within 30 days, because otherwise you want to force the issue, you want to send emails, you want to take it upon yourself, you want to overstep and then create problems. So I don't understand what you're hoping to get out of this. If you really just want decent sounding stuff, then I think that that is fine. I know that the meetings don't sound good, but you like to accuse everybody of like having these, well, if you're not this, or you gotta call that, or you gotta whatever, but it is always what you want, when you want it. And it is just old. That's my discussion then.
The only thing that I would say is that I've obviously heard from a couple people in the audience that it's relevant and important to them to have these recordings, so I wouldn't necessarily be in favor of getting rid of them all together. I think working on the sound would be more beneficial.
Yeah, I just want to point out, we use this conventional energy now with chairing there, and that was several years ago. And we never had any problem. So I don't know, who might want to contact the regional energy, ask who they use. Because I think we had people from all over, one of the state senators, I don't know what you call him, but he was like his secretary or something, you know, that went around, but the state senator couldn't. But he was on there all the time, and there were people from all over there going on here. So I don't know what the problem is with this one. Thanks, sir. You know, down to, right there and across the animal shelter and pick it up. Maybe you should go watch it. You might call them and ask them, what kind of system?
Jim Berrios and I have hosted several regional or state level meetings over our system. And again, have not had any issues. In a couple of meetings, we didn't use the microphone on TV picked it up just fine. Where it was a two-way communication. You know, so and I I just don't think we have to reinvent the wheel here, but there's been, like I said, Jim and I, how many meetings have we had where with the guy that I love going back and forth and we didn't even use it like I said, a couple of meetings and what was on the TV picked it up and no.
If I can make a suggestion, if everybody here tonight could view this video at some point between now and November, and look at the last couple of videos since it became an issue. I think, yes, Ms. Jock, Ms. Freckle, and others who have mentioned, Cassidy, others who have mentioned, I think those sound issues were several meetings ago. If you listen to the last two or three, I think it's been addressed because of the additional microphones that are coming out of here. And if you still feel the last couple of meetings are insufficient, by all means, bring it up again. But I think that that we don't need to get rid of the sound system. I think that based on the last motion that was done last meeting to evaluate is perfectly fine. At the village manager's discretion, to put those very emotionally said that this is an issue that is low on the priority list with regards to all the projects that the village has going on right now. And I applaud you for staying on us about it, but at the same time, no, it has improved. I urge everybody to listen to the video like last month. And if it's bad, I'm on back, everybody.
I have watched the videos of the last three meetings, and there are spotty spots of the whole meeting that will address that. I don't think we need to scrap it. I think we just make some improvements to it that needs to be done. If we need new microphones, let's purchase new microphones. It's a very simple fix, that's all it is. So I would say we need to keep the program and work with it. So I have a motion on the table to scrap the whole system. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael,
No.
Robbie,
No.
Fisher,
No.
Cook,
No.
Medina,
No,
Miller.
No.
You're two, no.
Okay. So now, we're still on village council. Is there any other motions that want to continue on with this and have an IT guy come to look at it? Or do we want to just wait till next month and continue until then?
we'll wait till next year.
Okay, Mr. Medina.
And so you say it's such a simple fix, but why are we making such a big deal about it being 30 days or whatever? I mean, get it done. Why not just get it done?
It takes some approval of the village council to do that. No proves it, we can't move forward. So we had 3-3 vote. Okay, so I personally myself, I would say I would stick with the guy who does our system overall, does the networking and stick with him and let him come in and take evaluation.
We don't need bids, that's what we had last, discussion last time, roll like a roll.
Tony, he does have a bid to do it. You got it from him.
Otherwise, you should make a motion to hire him then.
You made the motion, not me.
I'm just saying, we should just hire this guy, we'll make the motion to hire him. Let's do it. Just, I can take action on it.
I don't know, Tony, what should I do? Make my decision for me, please.
I suggest we make the motion to hire Chris Fisher.
We're gonna camp. It's a heated moment right now with everybody going out. I think it needs to calm down a little bit. Next item is Redstone Home M18 property project. Mr. Alden.
Jim Terrell, Else and I, let's just say our luck was that Thursday we walking down the road in Nebraska, look down and see a 4-leaf clover. Jim and I were sitting here one day having a discussion and a couple of people walked in the front door and they were looking for forest dunes. And they just knew it was up from Mouse County, they're from the Grand Rapids area, they live from Mouse County, and they have a project up there they wanted to look at and get the paper going in. And so they just knew it was Ross County, so they came here to ask for words now, so, Jim kind of. Just on the whimsical, we have some property ones involved. And, that conversation has led to like 3 or 4 now, has led to. Some ideas and things, sort of being put down on paper, they're looking at the front here across the street from there. The current discussion that we have had with, Redstone involves, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes. It involves apartments and it involves townhouses. Where there will be a total of 60 units, that they have proposed, with the village, working with them as far as, getting that in, maybe starting as soon as next spring. There's still a lot of discussion and agreements and handshakes that have to happen yet. But, Jim and I wanted to let you know that we're working on a very big, project here that they would like to take so many acres of that property and develop it. And then when they're done, they have another phase for another chunk of that property and just continue to develop it. Jim shared with them our, housing study. And based upon the housing study and our conversation, they're convinced that there is a need for apartments and townhouses and homes here in Ross County. That if they are built, they would not just sit idle. And so we met with the president of the company, the vice president of marketing. They have sent forward some pretty heavy hitters. They just finished a project up at Treetop to build a big housing complex out there. They're now going to build some high-end homes around Fort Boone. And the gentleman's thoughts are, well, I'm sending people up. I mean, this, sometimes if we're all working on the same house, getting each other away, we can kind of have 2 projects going at the same time and save some costs of that. So this Redstone is a group that's very interested in our area. There's some legwork on our end that we will have to do to prepare for this construction, but it's looking very, very positive at this point. So keep your fingers crossed. Jim and I are going to continue to meet with these people, and hopefully we can have some type of agreement or some type of understanding that we can bring back to you. And but anyway, there's hope that hopefully that they'll do that, and when somebody starts talking about numbers or something, they'll handle it. They want any grants involved, we'll just go for it. We can do it ourselves and kind of work it out. So we'll keep you posted on that. We're pretty excited. We want to let the cat out of the bag too soon, but we're pretty excited about this opportunity coming into the village.
Any questions on Redstone? Roger?
Would that be in the same area that services have been moving at, or the?
It would be on the opposite end. They would start right by DeVita and work that way. We have been in touch with Mr. Savage, or his plan, kind of more behind the performance cocaine, in their area. So hopefully eventually they'll be working towards each other at that time.
Any more questions, Mr. Alden? Redstone home building. If not, we'll move on to general fund transfer. Mrs. Dawes.
To transfer some money from our general fund, for $4,000. That has to go into from the district general fund over to general fund. So it's put some money in, waiting for money from the community. They've already come to talk with them. It's like, about 30 days to make a something, so pay it.
So I'm looking for a motion to transfer $140,000 from the 101-000 -390-000 general fund balance to the 101-265-978-000 general fund park.
We'll make the motion to allow the village clerk to transfer $140,000 from the general fund balance to the general fund parks welfare account.
Second.
Yeah, first and second, any discussion?
I'd just like to point out, like, I was blown away by hearing this transfer of funds. It used to be on the council, it was like every month. There's account, that account, I couldn't even keep up with it now, I haven't heard one in a long.
No, the budget was so.
It's a compliment, you know, I think.
Okay, you got a first, second, any more discussion? If not, roll call please.
Miller,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yeah.
Medina,
Yes.
Ready,
Yes.
Cook,
Yeah,
Smacker,
Yes.
Pat.
Okay, next item is discussion item, cemetery suggestions, Mr. Medina.
We'll scroll down to the pictures I got. With the upcoming budget coming up, we're in the work session in the month. And got a couple suggestions to consider. You know, in the past, the cemetery really hasn't gotten much money. Couple $1,000 in budget for. On page 32 is the one that
Yeah, they're working on it. Sure.
I've been looking at. Good try, I guess they have, but, yeah.
Clients.
Yeah, that's not fun. Off their back feet at the point. Oh, this is all. And that's bad. That's done. It's done. We go. You want to go and put your nurse on?
So, yeah, so the picture of that.
Hey.
Okay, just like what I'm saying about the budget coming up, we have the work session in the month and just a few things I'd like to consider. Within, I know the cemetery, you know, their budget is like $2,000 a year, about them, they do a little bit of maintenance, and they put the fences up on the corner, but. We look out in the cemetery, there's, about a dozen of trees, this time for dying, really looking trees. That we should think about taking out, and then there's also right along the fence, along Lake Street, low hanging branches and stuff like that. Slow, keep it slow, okay. That's another dead one. And that's another one that need trimming. And then along the fence, along Lake Street and on the left, and that's mine. Just throughout the cemetery, there's one that's good. Dead or dying branches, the low hanging branches. And then there's some, stuff like this, and that, been there for a while. And somebody tombstone on the side of the building there. There's all the tombstones and they're heaved up, tipped over. But we might have been abandoned, plan to fall apart. Treat the cemetery off. I could be more like, maybe you're on the parent thing, you know what I mean? This want to be more like a park setting. So then, what if you, myself included, when I go up there, and I kind of like to walk around and I'm talking to Larry Sherman, and he said something about he likes to win there, holy. I know this one's weird. There's quite a few people who wander around. Would be nice if we get some of that fixed up, and another thing, I believe, Mr. Dixon might have brought this up in the 5 family meeting, something about the powder sign. And we just kind of got like a piece of laminated paper, they would fly with.
Probably true.
And that's where you get like yeah, I was brought up too, about, around town, there's some other interpretive signs.
Is that an example where you talk about on the left or?
Yeah, just, not like, I just took an example of the trilogy, I got pictures and the story. But the one on the right is the one we got now, it's laminated piece of paper.
That was put up the day they dedicated the plaque,
In the night.
so that's in the 90s. Yes.
So, and all of this stuff about this community, you have cemetery community, all of this is big discussed, and you're grabbing, and got all of our suggestions, and even more than what you had out there. Soon there, we're hoping next year, a lot of these bigger projects, we're taking up a whole lot of time.
Yes.
That one call, and then
Mark.
person on there and, you know, the paper thing, it's cemetery committee and we have all the plans and we have some quotes and we have all that stuff. Getting
So
going,
it
to
wouldn't,
do stuff.
it wouldn't be like, oh, wouldn't be the one.
Some people, no, some of them, yes, they have, but some of them, no, the higher.
Last year we spent quite a bit, we had trees go down and some of that. But you know, if the family stone has been damaged, due to whatever. We try to get in touch with that family, because,
In the home, we can.
you know, so it's just some are easier to contact than others, but there is some that need to be addressed. We can mention that to the businesses on, west of town here. If they'd work with us to remove some of these, you know, pieces and stuff like that, so.
Do you know how much you currently have budgeted for cemetery?
20,000. Which seems like a lot.
Well, then if you're looking at, you know, one of the discussions that we had as far as taking the storage building, for lack of better term, and make that crematorium. For just to do that, it would be all of $100,000, you know, just the way that's set up, which I think would be a nice feature for us to offer. But we may have to try and pull some outside funds to help assistance and stuff.
And some of the trees being put down has gotta be a non-equipment bearing tree trimmers and stuff like that, so there's a special guy down like the people who do it for us.
So
Tell me how that,
that's almost question me.
you gotta have to find it just because of where it's located.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the, definitely the policy, that's a big.
The powder field is a no dig area.
We're gonna fix all that, so, yeah, I'm gonna take all these things out here, because we're gonna have a meeting next month. But usually I'm like 10 o'clock in the morning, on a Tuesday or something, so we can get those ones.
Because I do know the powder field flag has been talked about last year from this council. Flag has been talked about from this council.
Well, we also got good low by this, so we went over the side without our beating, put lights. So they're shining on it, so all the time, make a ball fall.
Some of the stuff has been on their list already. So we appreciate your bringing to us and suggestions. I think they're all great suggestions, but it's just coordinating and getting everything organized.
So, from, hopefully. That's good.
And I do know that you did ask about new water system in the new park, which has been projected to go ahead. We're gonna work on that, but we had to wait till we had some clear members of our committee to work, our members from start to work there. Because they've been on all different projects.
And one thing I want to just for that new part, I wanted to say something, but it's kind of, we got Ace Armstrong after my now. So if you look at the plane of it, I mean, it's like a roller coaster. Something like a fill, and it's graded before it gets to fill out.
Yeah. It's too bad.
They get a compost version of it.
Did that pole either by your father's stone or right behind your father's stone that got filled in?
No, Ace Armstrong buried in it now. There was my dad, but then was my plot, which is in this Ace Armstrong.
Something that caved in and when you went out there and filled that, I thought.
No, not by baseball.
I don't know, I just know there's a real low back behind. And,
Okay, any more suggestions on cemetery?
I was given, yeah, 2 minutes to the cemetery, someone who's over 100 years old, so I can, and I'm gonna bring in a friend, I've been gonna do this all summer. And, so she can take it over the county, the big, it shows every burial cow. So,
Thank you. There's nothing more on the cemetery. We'll move on to South Line and Lake Street Corner, Mr. Medina.
all right, this has been on my side for about 2 years, when I was there with the street lights that were recently fixed in the country, going along 18, that will be moved this summer. But this project is still, I think I've mentioned it several times in the past few years, and we actually, last year when we did the budget, was, I think we approved the South Line, and I mentioned that we're gonna do that portion of the South Line, and there's an apprehension, no straight answer, and then we just never did South Line because of the water grant for facility in the industrial park. So this corner is just getting real bad. It floods when it rains, and it's winter time, it's freezing, it's thaw, floods out the sidewalk, and then it freezes. And with dial, the edge of the road is crumbling. So if you look down the road, it's narrow at the corner, so people just want to naturally pull to the middle. And people are pulling it in and just with dialysis center, you've got larger vehicles like buses and ambulances pulling in there. And I mean, that's adding to the last piece of the one. I just think this is something needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Well, I have talked to Mr. Aller about it. We did contact the road commission about asking how much it would cost us to drape, make a ditch there for us. They said they could do it, but they had a question of where would the water go from the ditch or build. We gotta know a place where you're gonna take that water down to. So if you build a ditch on the side of the library side, like you like to want to get rid of that water is gonna go down to the neighbors on the corner now. And then we'll have another issue there. So you're gonna have to dig it all the way down, a pretty good depth. And I don't know how the district library is gonna feel about having a brand new lawn tore up. So,
I just think we have to
and-
put my lawn tomorrow, but
well, some of that water is actually from the district library sprinkler system. If you go around a nice dry there. No, I didn't say in January, I said some of that also is from their issue too. So it's not a one person concern. I understand what you're saying about ditching it. You, in the middle of winter, every road looks like that. There's not a road that doesn't look like that. Look at M18, look at M18 right out front of it, right on the corner. There is water building right there.
there is some concern. The whole corner.
I understand the concerns, and I said we have addressed it. And it will be addressed at the capital improvement plan again, and we'll put it on the order to get done. So that was what I believe is how the process works. This corner right here, if you look at it, that is not losing any road frontage. You're actually, what they're doing, they're driving on the shoulder of the road to make it that wide. And from the corner is full, because where you look at the black top of the main road and the circle of the radius, that is the original road. All this stuff over here is a black top, is a gravel surface where they ate out, they kept adding gravel to it to make it stable. Is what that is right there. So I don't, the road is always, road's never been a wide road, it's always been a narrow road. So It's not gonna be like a turn in the I-75 median turn in. It's built the way it was at the time. It's something we can change in the next direction when we go. If we want to make it a wider road, we can. At that time. So your concerns have been addressed. We have talked about it. So,
I like the concerns of the parents.
well, I'd like to have $1 million in my bank account too, but it's not gonna happen.
You know, the one part here on the photo on the left. So these were taken shortly after a rain. And this last section of sidewalk. I'm not sure who were, but this whole sidewalk in front of the library. It sits higher than the road, and then at the last minute, they just teetered it down. And so we looked at that, and even if you went back so many feet and tried to readjust that, now this puddle here is not gonna go on the sidewalk form. So I wasn't sure just really what the correction is. You just say, well, let's fill in the water, but the road's got to go in front. And that water is set up, and normally that's why they have shoulders on the road, so the water can get off the road and you go in the shoulder area. But this has potential being icy. I don't know, about having that much water standing, but that was the area that raised my attention more than the actual road itself. This puddle. So a couple things, might be able to short-term fix is put a couple little trenches, into the grassy area and or draining or something, so anything can at least get off the road and get off the sidewalk.
Didn't Debbie and them do that last year? And after the first concern by Tony, we had to go up there and look at, and they ditched a little bit of the side off the water would run out.
Yeah, and sometimes that's stuff kills them. I had 2 people from the road commission out there, looking at it, and council members. And I try to pick times when either it was raining or right after it was raining. The more of the concern was right here in that sidewalk issue, versus the road itself. But
Okay, any more questions on the South Line Road?
So is that one scheduled to be paved at some point? I thought we said.
It was on the master plan to be, but we tabled it till we did the water project, because we don't want to make it a brand new road and have to cut it, go put new water on it. Any other questions on the South Line Lake Street corner? If not, we'll move on to sidewalk suggestions. Mr.
All
Medina.
right, once again, some money coming off, and we'll be looking for sidewalk projects and not doing projects we haven't done, but. I put a list, and this is, I sent that list out last year. So there's pretty suggestions. I think I replied to the email if they think that's suggesting. But. I guess I'll go read the whole list. Over here. And then, my main mode of transportation, I ride my bike and I walk around town. And a lot of people are walking around town too, and I kind of weird footprint, they can all move around and stuff like that. So some of you are around for the Brook Street sidewalk and I feel about that. I guess I do see the kids riding their bikes out. Some of the sidewalks I suggest is a new sidewalk on the east side of Shelley Street between North Fifth and Main, and that'd be like kind of the farmer's market area. And then next to like the train park there, the little ride on train. And then the second one is repair, replace, or new sidewalk on Main Street between North and Shelley, and that begin in the farmer's market area, kind of between like the flower shop and like. Toward Farm there. And we'll move it here. New sidewalk extending from George Street, South Fourth Street to Robinson. Actually, like from Buckley Courthouse. Down Robinson Street and the Fourth Street. Repair, replace sidewalks on South Main. And I feel like in the community garden, that's just replacing that, just moving the sidewalk, and right now we're on the inside of the telephone pole with significantly off the street, and people don't use them if they're far off. I know it sounds weird, but they won't use them, because it feels like you're walking through people's yards, and people are walking in the road. And, a new sidewalk or paved path extending down South Main to Ballinger, where people of the community garden down like the fairground. That's just making maybe a paved, when we're putting the snowmobile and they're still getting the houses. I noticed last year I rode my bicycle on the Pier Marquette rail trail, and there's a portion of that is designated a snowmobile trail, and then the White Pine Trail is down from Cameron to Big Rapids. It's part of the snowmobile fest system. I was thinking if we make a multi-use path down there, that could maybe get a snowmobile in the town, we not, don't plow it. There wouldn't be much use. Then we got the duplexes down there too, that are coming in and reinforced apartments. It will help with foot traffic, but in the winter time, people are gonna really be walking. Most people find rides or on the more transportation or whatever. And new sidewalk or paved path extending from South Line, like the library, down to the village limits, down to the central. Sidewalk, like the town, and people working in there, a lot of people walking around like the The big one is a walking, running, or cycling path around the perimeter of M18 property. It'd be approximately 1 mile. I mentioned in the email that I sent that recreational plan when actually the two biggest things are walking paths and bike paths. And, a lot of them paths like that are popular in the city. I only know where he's one that's Melville Park too. They're going to be a popular aspect of the community. So they going to be one of them. And they keep properties and some neighborhoods there. And be nice. Addition to that whole thing is and maybe a new sidewalk on State Street and Fifth Street down Commission on 18, from the Clarion home. And then new sidewalk from George Street from Terrace to Sherwood. That would be go about Metro Park down in front of the cemetery. And then just do some general maintenance and upkeep. Like some edging of the sidewalk. I put a picture of the sidewalk between on George Street, between Second and First Street, and it's about 2/3 overgrown with grass and gravel, and that deteriorates the end of the sidewalk. And clean it up, there's just most of the walk on it, and that clear. That's all I.
Okay, any concerns on sidewalk?
Tony, the one part you just mentioned about overgrown grass and hedging. I would have to go back and look to be sure, but I would think if we're gonna spend the money to put in a sidewalk, to help come out, that at least the property owners do their share and assist in some of this hedging and making sure it's clean on that would be nice. Because a lot of these little things could just go away, with just little self maintenance there, but it's kind of, to me, it's gotten to the point where everyone said, well, the village can do it. Well, the village has a GPW code 4. And there's only so much you can do but I think it would be nice and it would be helpful if, some of the property owners, if they could section in front of their house. I know my mom, that's in the ordinance for sheep. And she's 90 years old, not in school, but she'd be out there, a little bit of snow on the sidewalk, she'd be out there with removing it. And it's something that I think that, we could probably, work together on that with the property owners.
Yeah, but we've been in the ordinance. And this one's 3 years.
Supposed to maintain it.
No, like, all that.
Then fire out there.
Maybe it's something we need to work out, like, you not even enforce and stuff like that. And if some people can't do it, you know, maybe we can find someone that may have to, maybe like in Manchester, and has to bring some, to make community hours or something like that, that can assist these people that don't have that ability to do it.
So Tony, number 5. New sidewalk or paved pathway extending north down Main Street to Ballinger connected River Forest Apartments. A path multi-use for snowmobile path in winter. That road needs to be paved, so I wouldn't want to do anything there until that road is paved. Because that road is worse than Top for safety issues, I'll tell you that. And doing everything else.
Talk about Ballinger or Main?
Yep, Ballinger,
I'm talking on Main Street.
North Main to Ballinger connecting River Forest Apartments.
This is dead end of Ballinger, down the end of it. Down the side of Main Street, whatever.
Clarifying that. Thank you. Any more suggestions on cemetery or sidewalk? We have lost it. If not,
We would just, and this was put together several years ago. We took the stoplight in Lake Town and divided it into 4 quadrants. And there was the southwest quadrant is an area that we thought we would focus on first to either replace, improve, clean up, whatever, our sidewalks in that area. Yeah, and we're coming on pretty good. There's a couple of spots yet that like they're gonna go to the northwest section of our community, and there's some of those that Tony listed that we need to get better sidewalks around the farmers market area and some of that. And but there's not as much as the southwest corner. So from there we would move to the northeast corner, and then the southeast corner, and then we're doing what I call the out. Property that's down there by the cemetery and down there, you know, where some of you live down in that area where the Metro Park is and such, but yeah, there are some sidewalks that just go and they stop. And we either have to take them out or continue, you know, with but yeah, a lot of those that you had mentioned are on the list. I thought I included here with Karen had me.
there's one on North Main you talked about. It's filled up by brush. I mean, there's actually trees growing over it. It's right up almost the Main Street.
Yeah.
Been that way for a long time. Okay. So, just to let you know, Tony, for sidewalk repair, Ron said at the DDA meeting, he's gonna spend up to $75,000. So that's gonna be probably some of the projects. Just for you up to date on that. Any more
Well,
items?
we're gonna look at the flat, looking at the mountain, we're bringing the flat frame. Leather.
Any more questions on sidewalks? If not, we'll move on. 2 minutes per speaker. Anybody? This job,
I will tell you that the path Metro Park is about $71,000, Tony, so put that in your budget. Just to have the aggregate, and then if that was to be. Sorry, thank you, for the aggregate and it's to have it paid,
So that's the price on that, so those projects, as much as we like them, they're extremely costly, so. There's so many things in so little time, so it's frustrating, but it's something that we have to, recognize the cost in some of those as well.
Any more? What we got?
So, getting the acknowledgement on the microphones, I only seen like 2 people use them properly tonight, so. If we had more microphones for everyone, I think it'd probably be easy to fix and right in front of them. So, it'd probably.
Thank you, sir. Any more public acknowledgement on anything? Mr. Steve Perry.
Earlier, it was brought up about the commission on aging by Dan and the microphone situation. We have this identical setup. And we had a similar, and it was only noticed by some of our people. We've all been trained very well to talk to the mic. It doesn't happen anymore because these are directional mics. So it's just a comment that we went to. And we've all been trained pretty well. And so, but we have one microphone between each 2 commissioners. So it's just like this, back and forth. And we haven't had any concerns since that I am aware of. Not saying that's your solution, but we also use the directional mics and we have a similar problem.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Any more public acknowledgement? If not, we're gonna move on to council comments. Mr. Medina.
Even though, Mr. Keyhole's absent, I wanna compliment on the improved attendance from both the council and the public. A couple of years ago, there was one meeting, we didn't have enough people on the council to hold the meeting, we didn't have a forum. And there were a couple of people in the audience. Glad to see the attendance has improved on both ends.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Maureen.
Appreciate your feedback on the microphones. That's something I'll work on. I guess I didn't think about it, so thanks for that.
Mr. Bishop.
Well, I had about 70 items, but since it's so late, I'm gonna cut it to 65. Now, I'd like to just remind you that tomorrow night, it starts at 5 o'clock, Rock Common Area Historical Society is holding their annual dinner at Erie Township Hall at Sterling. And I understand they're having roast beef this year, and there's a lot of potluck stuff coming in. The only thing you would need to bring is a plate in it, knife, fork, spoon, and a styrofoam plate or whatever you want to bring. But this is an annual event, and they hold it out at Gersh because they can get it free. They can get the building free and so forth. And also remind people that we do still have a pharmacy in town next to the post office in Jerry Braylon's old building, run by what Mid-Michigan Health.
Michigan Health.
Yes. And then there was a bank update on this bank today. The guy from the Pony Dog place, he had pictures and everything of his new equipment. That's on there, so it's worth, it's worth finding it on Facebook. He said that they're going to be knowing something within the next week, and then they'll have a date set to when they can get going, get it open. Another thing, Newcraft put up a large storage building, and it's almost done. It's a beautiful job along the South Line Road. And Ron Wilson, the owner, told me that they build stuff in the wintertime and during their down season, but when summer comes, they don't have any place to store it. So they're limited as to what they can do. And so early in the summer, they're sold out. So that's why they put up the storage barn, so they can build more stuff and have it on hand. And Green's Tavern is having their 90th anniversary this Saturday. That's an all-day event, probably might even go into Sunday. I understand there's some discounts like maybe some hot dogs maybe 90 cents draft beer. Because of the 90th anniversary. And one more thing, I was just lying about having 65 items. Ron Wiltie never knew, he's been in there for years, and they never knew that that industrial park used to be an airport. I don't know how many of you people are aware of that, but it was called Cliff Durant Field, and before that was a fairground. When Rob Common was trying to farm things, when at the end of the logging era, it actually started in around 1887 or something like that. They had a fairground there, and then since it was owned by the county, it became the airport. And Cliff Durant, his father started General Motors, and he owned what's now the Mason track. And he used to fly here from Los Angeles. And he's the one that started the golf league at the old country club back in the 20s. But it only lasted 5 years, from 1933 to 1938. And then World War II was coming, and so they built this airport at the DNR out here. And this airport was in the flight plans, so they had to go. Okay, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dan. This is Smith. And then this is Cook.
I just want to commend the planners and volunteers and everybody that's involved in Rocktoberfest. It was a very fun time, and Kidtoberfest. But I walked down there with my grandson, he was too little to really participate, but we checked it out. And it was a great turnout, and a nice thing for the community.
Okay, I would like to say thank you to Andrew and Gary for getting their licenses updated. Thank you to Andre to get a CDL license in it. Welcome Doug to the program. Thank you as public coming to these meetings and talking about problems in the village. Council members, thank you for acting like we do. Don't forget, November 5th, election. Well, what's your opinion? Everyone's voice in the possibility for election vote. So, next is item for next agenda.
We have quite a bit on our plate so far. There will be a public hearing, for the budget. Participation plan review. We'll have to discuss council pay. Citizen Vanderbilt is gonna have a payoff for sewer improvement. Our master plan will need to be voted on at that point. Jim Perry also had mentioned there'll be also the vote what we needed for a social district. They have a typical updates of Hiawatha, the Pavilion, Redstone housing. Capital improvement plan, will discuss that a little bit. The first town, Perk and Richard State for the next 2 years. We'll see on our email. The Roscommon County Library Council, we have a rep, it's currently Anthony Gasol. He is his term is going to be up either at the end of November, but by December we have to either have a representative that's approved by the board and is sworn in. And it's a 3-year term. Anthony is interested in continuing. If we just want to renew that, have a swear in again for next term and stuff like that. But that's what we have so far on next month's agenda.
Also, just to bring it up to date, the council members, Ron's contract is up for discussion by December, so we have any questions or how we want to evaluate him, please email myself or any council member, email which way they'd like to go with it, how we want to handle his contract. Okay.
This is when we launch council stage too in December.
Yeah, that we can do. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. He said it. Oh.
That's the only time you can do it. Can't change it anytime in the year.
Right.
Any other item for next agenda? If not, I'd like the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? You guys are all coming. See you.